Welcome to our brand. Hi guys, my name is Arcadio.
My name is Victor.
And today's episode is about the kind of art that you can see everywhere. On walls, on the subway, even on abandoned vehicles. We're talking about graffiti.
Some people hate it, some people love it. But what makes this street art expression so impactful in luxury brands we see today?
But before any further ado, let's get started. Welcome back. Hi guys. Thank you. This is our first episode here of Brand. Our brand is about bringing you graphic design content. Again, my name is Arcadio Cruz. I'm a graphic designer with about 8 years experience. I have worked in the design and advertising business. I specialize in logo and branding design. Here we are.
My name is Victor. I'm a multimedia designer. I focus on up-and-coming businesses, helping them get started and structured, and existing companies reach new target audience and new markets.
Okay, so what is graffiti? What we know about graffiti, Victor?
Art history shows us time and time again things that we can consider as back in the day graffiti, dating back to cave paintings,
Right.
letting people know that there's buffalo in this area.
Right,
this is a hunting ground.
It's strange to know that our first human beings on Earth, right, were able to paint with rocks and charcoals to impress themselves. So it's fascinating the way how it connects from ancient times. We're talking about ancient Egypt, Roman Empire. So this thing was carried on for so many years back that we're still using this in today's day, and it's everywhere. When we talk about art, graffiti is being introduced into graphic design, is being introduced into fashion nowadays. So it's amazing.
If we fast forward to now, graffiti is taking a more diverse role. Graffiti symbolizes being a rebel.
It allows graffiti artists out there to express themselves. Even when these protesters, it was a way to raise their voice, and they use these media to communicate with society and transmit their feelings. So the connection with the hip hop, which is tremendous. When we compare graffiti and hip hop, has that little connection on expressing where people come from. Oh, I come from this neighborhood and I'm identified with this beautiful art.
Graffiti, it's an art form, a self-expression, vandalism at certain extents, respect.
Right.
I remember learning about gang wars.
People tag walls just to mark their territories.
It is an art form. We see it a lot in low-income areas.
If we talk about luxury areas, you barely can see graffiti painting on the walls. I mean, you won't see that. We won't leave behind that there are also areas that allow graffiti artists out there to be able to express themselves freely. What they do sometimes is to communicate good thoughts and transmit that to the young minds out there.
It came a long way from being looked down upon, the art form as well as the music.
Hip-hop, yeah.
Hip-hop, they didn't see it as art. They didn't see it as music. So it went a long way from not being accepted to commonly seen.
What is luxury and what it looks like?
In order to see how they collaborate, graffiti and luxury, we would first have to dissect on what do we see luxury as.
Definitely expensive. Something that can smell like leather and...
for me, visually, I can see luxury as a poodle, a fur coat, sunglasses, walking to a private jet.
Very elegant mansions, jewelry. I think there's a lot of ways to describe how luxury looks like. If we correlate it with what the topic is about, which is graffiti, and combining these two ideas, which is very opposite, why these luxury brands are introducing this beautiful urban expression into their products.
Before, only the rich were able to afford things like books and music and have painters come and paint the whole family. Yeah. They had the upper hand in all those fields. It does make sense how luxury and art combines.
Right.
Now, the type of art that we see now is much different.
Been introducing this aggressive type of typography and splashes and spray paint on these sophisticated pieces of jewelry and items.
That contrast of luxury, something clean and sharp, to something rugged and rough, mixing those two styles together, one might think it'll clash, but it gives it a harmony effect. Right. So it brings it in together and it ties it in to deliver a product that's outstanding. From an art form perspective, I can see that as being a great move, contracting these artists to put their art form on a luxury product and selling it as a wearable piece of luxury art.
Also giving the opportunity to artists, graffiti artists out there, to be part of this fashion world, going back to brands such as Gucci, Balenciaga, just to mention a few. They doing this because they know that this is the way to connect even more with a younger audience. If you see how hip-hop have taken over and how the connection between graffiti.
Now that you say that, you mentioned hip-hop had a strong bond with graffiti. Do you feel like it's culture appropriation? We've seen these from time to time. People discussing Iggy Azalea for hip hop or Eminem, and we hear these arguments of, are they stealing a culture that are not theirs? Is that something that's happening with graffiti?
That's a really good question. I hope out there people can help us out. Post.
That's a hot seat.
That's a hot That's
a hot seat one, because if he says something, that's it. He's over. But I feel like it's needed.
Right.
At that point, I think we could all agree, in order to evolve to the next level of artistry, I think we need to take that risk and venture out. I'm going to use Taco Bell as an example. Taco Bell is not Mexican food. It's not authentic.
It's not.
But it has the American twist.
It's still in culture.
And I love Mexican food, but I also eat Taco Bell from time to time.
Right.
And I feel like without the blend and the fusion of cultures,
yes,
because America, we're the melting pot.
Oh, yes.
And without these mixing of things, without the mixing of the nitty gritty graffiti mixed in with the clean luxury, those two cultures being put together, I don't feel like we'll ever have another product if they just went on their own ways.
Definitely. Well, that's a really great way of putting it. Without having that combination, without having that history behind it from ancient times and to nowadays, and having hip hop be involved, it's a way of expressing the lyrics and a way to not only on the walls but everywhere we walk, we see this.
An amazing example, Jay-Z and Beyonce did an ad for Tiffany, where they had a Basquiat painting. It was amazing. It was like a mix of both worlds, as well as Kendrick Lamar was just on the runway for Louis Vuitton in their fashion show. It does give you that mix, and it's delightful. As an art form, as far as the financial aspect, they are opening up their market, their audience, because the wealthy, they only account for so much buying power. Of course, they buy more per person, but the middle class collectively spend more as consumers.
And again, it's more a way of influencing young minds out there. They know that famous rappers will get these luxury items.
You said young people, and that's exactly where it's at. It's the millennials and the Gen Z that are really buying. People are spending out of control right now.
Definitely.
Now that they're intertwined, does this create a new genre of what we see? Is luxury the same it was back in the day? Or does it look different now? Because I said it was poodles and fur coats, but now it doesn't seem like it's that way anymore.
No,
things are
it's more
shifting
into I won't say not grotesque, but I know people are more leaning to that type of look nowadays.
You believe this is also helping culture inclusivity? Luxury doesn't always look this way.
Right.
You know, I can see myself in luxury because I can relate to what I've seen around me.
Right.
So now luxury doesn't seem unreachable. It's now open to everyone. So it's
definitely I agree.
About culture inclusivity.
Yeah, definitely I agree on that.
That's where it's hard because now we're battling with two people. It's stealing our culture and a group of people that are saying, I wish my culture was represented in this field.
Right.
So, I mean, you can't make both people happy, but, you know, these are things that we're all balancing with. Are they okay for doing this? Are they okay if they don't do that? They're not including us into that circle.
It's difficult. I know they kind of recognize that what they're trying to do is coming from a urban expression art, but at the end of the day, they're trying to make sales, right? They're trying to sell these products. So now we let it to you. What do you think? How graffiti is being introduced into this amazing fashion world and luxury brands? What are your thoughts about it? Share it with us and let us know in the comments.
I know we touched a lot of topics. Some were a little bit touchy, and some are pretty vague. We're trying to gather up everybody's mind frame and ideas on this topic and try to present it as an open talk between all of us, including you guys.
Yes, and just keep in mind, this is a content creator from creators to creators and people out there that be very interested in this type of amazing world that is graphic design.
I definitely would love to know more. So if any of you guys have any insight on graffiti and the art form, if you're an artist yourself,
graffiti artists out there,
definitely comment below and give us that extra, because it's always good to expand our knowledge, so that when we design, we keep that in mind and create greatness. You know, this is all about feeding each other.
We want to always keep you informed with whatever is trending nowadays, and I hope you enjoy. See you next time on Off Brand.